Where does that leave you at cornerback? You're obviously going to be pretty short-handed there, right?
Yeah, work with a bunch of the guys that we have, and they all got to be ready to go.
Dave, you've been in a position coach in this league. What kind of challenge is that going into a week? Sometimes if you get one player, you notice the talent and say, we got to get him ready. But when you have an entire group, what kind of challenge is that to make sure guys are ready on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we got some guys have been doing this a long time. It happens. So you spend a lot of time with the player that you're coaching, whatever position that may be. Sometimes early, sometimes extra meeting time, sometimes more on the field, and you do everything you can to get a guy ready. And then they have to put their work into it.
What have you seen from Corey on that front, coming back and being thrown right in the fire?
Yeah, he's done a good job. I think he's had good retention from what we've done before. I think Em has done a good job with him, and pretty conscientious guy, doing everything he can do to get ready and play. To the kid's credit, he's done a nice job.
You said no change in your report, you figured out after practice. Are any of those guys in a position where they can play without practicing? Like Jermaine seemed pretty confident he'd be able to play. He's in a separate bucket than maybe different guys.
Yeah, no, I understand the question. I think, look, with all these guys, if they can play, I'll give them up until as long as they need to be able to play. Again, we'll see where that goes.
When obviously in that spot, if Jermaine can't go, presumption would be Marcus. He's been practicing, but obviously hasn't been in the lineup in a while. Saw signs early. Just curious, from a rookie, do you kind of dig deep and find out, okay, this guy's been practicing the way, he's ready to play, and now if we have to go in that direction, we will?
Yeah, whether it's a rookie or a vet, all those guys that play behind whoever the starter is, they're taking all the individual work, they're taking all the reps, they're taking the show team reps, and that's part of their job is to be ready to go.
Jackson's, both his wins have actually come at home, right? He's 2-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. How much of a benefit is it for a rookie quarterback when you play at home compared to the road? Is it that significant?
Yeah, so there's a lot of differences from silent count to regular count, how you want to play the game. I'd say there's a lot of things that go on, for any quarterback when you're in a road in a hostile environment. But he's done a good job in both areas. Again, we're going to have to play well. He's going to have to play well to give us a chance against a good team. But he's done a lot of good things in either setting. Jordan.
Do you think there's an emotional aspect to it, playing at home now? A little bit, to have that, everybody kind of behind you?
Yeah, it's great to play at home. You play well, you give the fans something to cheer about. They get behind you. That's a huge thing for anybody, for all of us. So the key is to play well and give the people something to cheer about. Because that helps. Helps in defense when it's loud. It's the 12th man. That's a real thing.
I know you won't decide till tonight. But like with Turbo, you didn't elevate him when you had two running backs early in the season. Like, how much of a risk is that, or how would you weigh that risk of only having two running backs up? Because obviously, if something happens early in the game, you're down to one. Like, just how did you get to the point where you're comfortable with that, and how do you now? It's going to be Cam's not coming back, so
sure. You're really like that in a lot of positions if you lose two guys. So again, there's a lot of things in terms of going to the game, special teams related, things that you need to try to put the best team collectively out there. So those are discussions that we have. And there's a lot of different areas that you could go, whether it's a running back, whatever it may be. But we felt comfortable, obviously, those two games. You're crossing your fingers, really, at any position, but you have two guys. There's games where we went to a game with one tight end in different places I've been to. So you just do what's best for the team collectively. And special teams is a big factor in that, too. All good? Yes, sir.
Talking about Evan Neal a lot.
Yeah.
Make the first reps at one point. Haven't played yet. What have you seen from him in practice? And do you still feel like he is, do you play him at guard and tackle in practice? Is he just a guard now in your eyes? What do you see for him?
He's working hard. Again, he's not in the starting lineup. And, whatever we've asked him to do, he's done. He works hard at it. Works hard at practice at it. we'll see what happens this week.
How have you managed the uncertainty with their quarterback situation?
Again, I think they have a system that's pretty conducive to both of those guys. It's not like one guy can just do this and the other guy can do this. They're pretty proficient at both and operate in Coach Shanahan's offense. So again, there's a lot of system that you're going through in practice, and you go back and obviously look at the 2 games that Brock played in the years previous. But they both can operate whatever they need to do to be good in that offense.
Usually with the penalties and fines and stuff, right out the league determines stuff on Saturday. I'm curious if you thought, like I mentioned, potential hit drop tackle on the Zach Ball and hit on Scatterby. I wonder what you think, or if you talked to them about that specifically.
Yeah, I'm not going to give any details of what I talked to the league about.
It seems like there's been a lot of fanfare nationally for Jackson the last couple of weeks, and even Robert in San Francisco gushed about him, with the media. How is he handled going from all right, let's see how this kid does early on, to where now people are kind of starting to sing his praises, Jackson?
I don't think he really worries about any of that. I know he doesn't worry about any of that. Good or bad, there's things that we're working on getting better. There's things that he's done really well. Again, since we got him in April, whenever it was, how I feel about him, and that hasn't changed. His approach hasn't changed. He's a young professional that keeps getting better.
What's your relationship with Salah, having both been not just I know you're talking about it as a coach?
Yeah.
What's your personal relationship with him, having both been here for 3 years?
Yeah, I have a good relationship with Salah. Got a lot of respect for him, his family. He's a good dude. He's a good coach, but he's a good dude.
Does it predate you guys being here as head coaches?
You know each other throughout the league. He's been doing it quite a long time. But I'd say that it's probably gotten stronger with us being close in proximity. But again, he's a good dude. He's a good coach, and he's a good dude.
Would you like to see him get another shot as head coach?
Yeah, that's not for up to me. But I'd like to see anybody's career go like this. Again, he's a good football coach, good guy. I wish him all the best, except this week.
Trey, did those comments bother you? I mean, you must know Carl through this building. How did you react to those comments?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, honestly. Okay, what makes the NFL the greatest game in the world is everyone can have an opinion, right? When you watch an NFL game, quarterback throws the ball, should have ran it. Okay, they run it, you should have thrown it. You should have blitzed. You should have played man, right? You should have kicked it. You should have went for it. That's the beauty of this game, right? That everyone can have an opinion, okay? But it's not my job to validate people's opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's not my job to validate that. So that's how I see it. It's okay for him to have the opinion that he has, and that's fine, how he sees it, and that's how he sees it and how he views it. But my job is to coach these defensive linemen and help them get better week in and week out and deal with realities, right? And that's what I do. I deal with realities. And so that's the way I see it.
You've been pretty clear that you see it a different way. You see him still getting tons of double teams and tons of...
Well, the film don't lie, right? He played 40 plays. In 40 plays, he got double teamed 29 times. That's run and pass. So how is that being disrespected? You get double teamed 29 times. That's showing respect. So the film don't lie, right? And all Dex can do is go out there and be Dexter. That's all he can do. And so that's my focus, is on Dexter and all the other guys in my room, is for us to play better so we can win a game on Sunday, right? All the other stuff that's happening around doesn't mean anything. It's not going to help us win. It's not going. All it can do is help us lose, because it puts our focus in the wrong place, right? So, and the one thing that I think is important is, if you ask any of my players, I don't baby my players. I deal in truths, right? So if you're not playing well, I get after you, no matter who you are, whether you're Dexter Lawrence, a 3-time Pro Bowler, okay, or you're DA, a rookie. It don't matter to me. I'm going to tell you the truth, right? And so he knows when he's doing things right. He knows when he's doing things wrong. And like I told him, he's his own worst enemy. And this is what I mean by this, okay? Last year, he had 9 sacks, okay? And I had Dion look this up for me, okay? The last true nose guard in the National Football League to end up with 10 sacks was in the 1980s. The last true nose guard was in the 1980s. The last true nose guard to end up with 9 in a season was in the 1990s. So what he did last year was unreal. Now, is he still striving to go out there and try to achieve those goals? Yes, but it's hard to do from where he plays. That's the honest truth. He's not a 3 technique that gets one-on-ones. He's trapped right in the middle, and he made a name for himself. So that's what he has to deal with. So I get people look at the numbers and saying he's not playing to the numbers that he had last year. That part of it is true, but that does not mean he's not playing well. Okay, and I don't know if people understand that, but I watched the film over and over and over again. And if he wasn't playing well, I think all of you that know me here, I would stand right here in front of you and tell you he ain't playing well and I got to get him to play better. But that's not the truth.
Do you think this is I mean, I know he's obviously self-motivated, but you think this will be a little extra?
No.
Something maybe to motivate him?
No. It's one person's opinion. Why? You get opinions from all other people. Hey, I have a great deal of respect for what he's done in his career as a New York Giant, right? A great deal of respect, more than you ever can imagine, okay? But when it comes to D-line, right, I'm one of 32 of all that does this in the whole world. I'm one of 32 that have done this for a long time, okay? So my word is the most important word in my room. Not what anybody else says out of this building. My word, Shane's word, and our head coach's word, right? Nobody else. And they understand that. That's what you got to do as an NFL player. So, no, it doesn't carry any merit.
There is a slight difference between one of us criticizing Dexter and saying these things and somebody of Carl's stature. You know,
that's your opinion. That's
okay.
your
Okay.
opinion. Hey, he's a great Giant player. He's a great Giant player. But he is not coaching the D-line or a D-line player in the National Football League. He's not. So players have all kinds of opinions, but that doesn't mean it's right. Right? It doesn't mean it's right. So I'm not putting his opinion down. He has that right to have his opinion, right? But the bottom line is the players are being evaluated truly by the people that coach them, okay, and the players that play against them. That's truly who they're being evaluated by. So, but everybody else can have an opinion if they want to. That's okay. That's what makes this game great. Now, I never want to see that change. But as a coach and a player, you got to keep your focus and mind in the right spot. And you got to know what voices you listen to and what voices you put to the back. And that's what we have to teach them as coaches.